welcome to another episode of Retro Tech, and today, well, I'm going to try and build a semi-functioning PC out of the £20 box I bought of spare computer parts. So as you can see here, we have a couple of options. So I've got some memory over here, we've got some memory over here, we've got some CPUs here. Now, easiest option looks to go with this one because we've already got a cooler on here, because we haven't got a cooler for the AMD and I haven't got a spare cooler anywhere. So there was no cooler, extra cooler, so I could get a cooler. I don't think I have I may have a spare cooler knocking around somewhere for it, for the AMD, but we could potentially build a test one, see if that's running, because that looks like the better board out of these two. Well, I know it's the better board out of these two. I do have a spare power supply, so that's not an issue. So I have a few other spare bits on top of here, but what I'm thinking is probably utilising this board, which is the A88XM Plus. We have this 1 gig, very fast and exciting 1 gig graphics card. We could put that in there. Not going to be the best thing in the world, but you know, it could do something for us. I've got two 4 gig sticks of RAM. I need to check if it's suitable. I think this is DDR3, so possibly, I'm not sure if this is a DDR3 board, so I've got a few things to go and look into here. Now I do have a different AMD effects chip, so what we've got here is a 6300s, and in here we have a different type, which I don't think, I've got to do some research, I think. Tell you what I'm going to do, so come back in a second. It'll be a second for you, a lot longer for me, and I will have worked through this, picked out my selection. Hopefully I'll have worked out a little way of making this into a potential either test bench or another spare PC maybe, you never know, of my £20 of junk, but of course there's going to be a few other spares in there, so yeah, see you in a sec. Hey there, and welcome to the Retro Tech channel, and we are back doing the second part of, or the second bit of this video around our junk PC build. So the concept here was I bought this £20 box of random PC junk, and inside it we found this wonderful A88XM Plus Asus board. We have a AMD A4, it's a 6300 series CPU. We have two 8GB of sticks of RAM, so we've got 16 gigs of RAM, and we were like, oh, and we have a graphics card, which is a 1GB. I think it's a NVIDIA Gigabyte card. So the kind of thing was like, well, we've got most of the stuff here, so maybe we should just build a system out of it. So I have a power supply knocking around, which is a CX600. So we're going to use that. I've got an old 500GB standard hard drive, which we're going to use for kind of just backup storage, and we've got a 120 gig SSD, which we're going to use as our main operating system drive. So I had all that knocking around. I think this was about tenner, I think, to buy that particular drive, which is what we're going to use. I have the option. That was the graphics card that came in my £20 junk bin. I do have this, which was like a £25 card I picked up, so a better card. It's a 2GB card, which I may put in, but I think we should benchmark at least this. I didn't have a cooler block, so we've got a cooler block that fits all the attachments on there, which we're going to use. A very nice little basic one, but it will do the job. We have some thermal placed, and I needed a case. Now I did have a couple of cases knocking around which already had PCs in, which we were doing for other videos for, so I felt that I should get a new PC case. We picked this one up off of Facebook Marketplace for £15. It's got a massive fan in it, it's got all the cables, it's got loads of expandability for future projects should we need to, so I think this will become a project case. So yeah, we are now going to build this system. I think I have everything we need. Have I missed anything? Let me know now in the comments as you watch this, and we'll see what else I missed as we went along. But join me now as we build this PC. Okay, so here we go. So it's been a while since I last built a PC. I've done a few upgrades on one, but I haven't actually built one from scratch in a very, very long time, so it should be fun to do. I've never actually done the setup, so this should be quite interesting with the cameras as well. I've already unplugged a couple of bits, but we've got this huge fan off this Corso, which looks freaking cool, massive. So inside we've got a couple of extra cables that are just kind of running. So this is obviously the front connection panels, and this is for the RGB front fans and back fans. So I've already pulled all the rest of the cables out. In fact, I better go and grab those. So I have a whole load of cables here, because the previous owner of this particular PC had already cable managed it. I decided to rip out all the cable management because it just wasn't going to work for me until I could actually get everything in and then cable manage around it. A few messy bits in here, but I'll just realign that. There we go, neat and tidy. What I think we'll do is let's get the motherboard sorted out, make sure that's all connected, and then we can put it into the case afterwards. Now, how much thermal compound should we be using? Nice snug fit, which is good. Now, where's the fan connector? That's that one there. Is that the only fan connector on this board? Because I've got a lot of fans I've got to find space for here. That's all USB. That's the connection. I don't think I've got enough. I'm going to have to get some splitters for the fans. Okay, okay. Nice. Let's have a look. That should be enough. Probably a little bit too much, but oh well. So be it. Let's have a look. Get that on. Come on, there we go. Nice, that's all on, and locked. Excellent. Right, so we can put that little connector in. Got 4 points, so that's going to be you. Usually there, we'll use that end one. Okay. Yeah, fan feels good. The connections feel good. Excellent. Next, we'll put in the RAM. I'm going to use the black slots on this one. Not sure why I want to use black versus the yellow ones, but I've decided I'm going to use black on this particular occasion. Okay, so we have got enough points on here to make it work, which is great. I think when you build PCs like all the time, it's all second nature. When you haven't done it for such a long time, you forgot all the things that you cocked up the last time. Well, it could just be any number of any of these things. So yeah, I'm hoping have I had a build that's ever gone completely accurately? Probably not. Give myself a little bit of space between these just to make myself a little bit easier. I've still got a few more bays. I mean, how many hard drives do you need? This was probably used as a big server case, to be honest. Right, that's it. Let's get the let's get the power supply unit in. We've got that there. You up later. Right. Okay, so I've got my power cables. So should we do get everything in, get it powered on, and then yes, we can then see if we can do cable management afterwards. That one thing I'm going to do that. I think that's where my head's going right now. Just get everything in, make sure it all works, and then I can neaten up the cables afterwards. That way, and get you connected up to the two hard drives out here. do that. Ah, yeah. Is that going to fit that way round? If that's quite we'll do it that way around. So we've got those two there, and then while I'm there I might as well run the SATA cables. What else have we got on here then? So board's powered up, don't need that. What have we got up the top? I'm going to need SATA 4. I've got these two DVD drives. I don't need both because I've only got 3 SATA ports on here. So the bottom one of these is a Blu-ray, if I remember right. So we'll use the Blu-ray. So this Blu-ray can be SATA free. And I'm going to need power for that. Won't worry about powering up putting anything in for the other one, as I have nowhere for that to go. Okay, so right now we have everything else empowered. Should we try and plug it in and try not to blow ourselves up? Let's see if we get a signal. I'm not going to bother putting a monitor on yet. I'm just going to literally put a power cable in, just see if it powers. See if fans spin, see if all that sort of lovely stuff happens. You can tell by my big sigh I'm a bit concerned. That's not good. Okay, so I've got nothing from the power side. Now that doesn't mean anything. That could just mean that this power cable is crap, as I haven't tested that power cable. So what we'll do, bear with me, I will run and get another power cable. Let's find out if this one works. Power cable in. I know that this power tower does work, so there should be no reason why. Although what I'll do is I'll just test a different point. Okay. This is not looking good for this power supply. It worked last time I used it. Okay, so I don't have a spare power supply, so we're gonna have to get a power supply now, aren't we? Piece of crap, very annoying. Okay, so it's 24 hours later. I thought I had a power supply issue, and then I completely forgot the fact that when you put the power and you turn it on at the back, it doesn't necessarily spin the fans up. You have to turn it on from there. So I got the new power supply, I ordered one in, put it in, had the same issue, and I racked my brains and then suddenly went, ah, yeah, okay, that would explain it. So I didn't need to buy another power supply. There you go. My mistake. Got to remember you need to trigger it off from the front. So it's all been connected back up again. I haven't done any cable management yet. I've just kind of got everything back in, plugged everything in, haven't turned it on. I'm using the old style peripherals, not using any USBs because there's no operating system, so I want to make it as simple as possible. Let's try powering it up for the first time. And find the button. Yeah, turn it on at the back first. Okay, we've got some spinning up. Now there is no operating system on here. Everything is spinning up fine. You've got to remember there's no operating system, so the graphics card's probably not going to pick up anything either. So I may have to just plug in to the back motherboard socket to start with. No beeping, so that's good. It means at least everything's sitting okay in here. Okay, so I've got nothing coming up at the moment. What I might do is power it off, take the graphics card out, and then try just booting it up off of the graphic of the main motherboard. Let's see if that does anything for us. Now I've had this before where I've booted up a PC and it took forever for it to pick up the monitor because it couldn't work out what resolution it was. So there is that as a potential. But I think the best thing for me to do is I've got a slightly different size monitor that might just force the issue. If it is the monitor that's causing the problem. I wonder if the board's dead. The only reason I'm asking about whether the board's dead is because the keyboard and the mouse, none of it's kind of registering doing anything, which means it's not even getting to the basic boot settings. Let's try the PCI Express in case it is just the fact that this is the it's this socket that's actually gone. So we'll put the graphics card back in, and let's have a look if that fixes the problem. Might bother tying it down right now. I just want to see if I can get it post to start with before I do anything more. So we know we're definitely getting power to the graphics card. Any suggestions anyone got on this one? Leave it with me, and I'll come back once I've worked out what the hell the problem is. Okay, right, we are back now. Do you know what? This has been a real reminder about what I need to do. So basically what happened here was I couldn't remember why it wasn't posting. I couldn't think about it. Maybe it's just too hot in here in this house and I'm having a bad time. But basically, I forgot to put the power cable in for the CPU. Yeah, need to fix that. So anyway, it is powering on. So we've got that. So let's get this powered on now and see what comes up as far as... We know there's no operating system on here, but I just need to see if it's going to boot. I haven't tested that yet. You will find out shortly. Oh yeah. And I need to put in the graphics card. There we go. Okay, there we go. So we have press enter to press F1 to run setup. Let's do that. So let's just have a look at what we've got here on this BIOS. So we have, of course, got two 8GB sticks in there, which is great. We have got the CPU fan is running, power safe mode is running. Everything is here is okay. We have 2 drives on here, so let's have a quick look. We have the Kingston, which is the SSD, and then we have our boot other drive, which is the Pioneer Blu-ray drive. Okay, it's not picking up the other drive yet, but that's not worries. We're not going to worry about that at the moment. The main thing for us is to get the main system. Okay, let's just come back out of that. Let's just let this run, see what comes up, as it's the first time it's run. So our next challenge is going to be to boot this into, we'll do a Windows 10 install on here. Check for viruses, blah, blah, blah. So that might be that we had the disk. Okay. So what we'll do now is get the Windows 10 disk. Okay, so this is the Windows 10 bootable. We'll whack that in and we will boot into Windows 10 and see if we can get this to operate. So turn the screen here so I can actually see it. Oh dear. Okay, Kingston, no. Okay, so the Hitachi drive has picked up, so that's good. Let's see how this now works. Right, don't care, come on, stop giving me a corrupted drive. I want you to boot and let me in. Because then we've got to update this thing with this bear boy with some operating software. Yes, we know we have hard drive corruption, but that's because I don't want to use that drive. I want to overwrite that drive. So the easiest plan to do here will be to go into BIOS. Right, let's change boot order. See if that will work. If I get the same hard drive error, shouldn't do, because it should be trying to boot off of the USB stick first. I should be getting a Windows 10 installation now. We'll see how this goes. This may take a while. At least if it gets to this stage, then what we'll do is we'll do the full installation, we'll get everything up to, and then we'll have a look at what the spec of the system is once I've got it all fixed and up and running, so you don't have to watch while I go through this. Any moment now, any moment. It is having a think about it. I am going to upgrade this graphics card because a 1 GB card is just not going to cope with it, but we should be able to do something with this system. We might be able to make it, if we put a decent graphics card in, we might be able to make it a middling gaming system. It's not going to be too retro, but it's going to be a cool little gaming system, I think. I definitely got to fix up this cable tidy. So we will do cable management afterwards. it is really thinking about the Windows 10 disk. Anyway, we know it's working, we know it's powering on. I'll see you in a second once I've got it up and running with Windows 10. Okay, so we are up and running. We had several issues. So we've had everything from misconnecting different connectors, which has always been interesting. But we've got the system up and running. I can't remember what the actual main issue is. I've still got a BIOS issue, which I think might be down to the CL2032 battery, or CMOS battery. I just need to have a look at that, but the BIOS keeps resetting on the power up, so I think it's probably down to that. But apart from that, we are up and running anyway. So we've got some games installed, we've got some programs on here, so let's just have a quick look at what we've got. So what is actually operating on this system. It's not the fastest system in the world still, so still potential upgrade there. I don't think it's necessarily the SSD that needs updating, but possibly we could do with a better CPU, but maybe we'll do something about that. But we've got Windows 10 Pro operating on this system. We've got an AMD A4 6300. We've got 16 gigabytes of dual RAM, which is more than enough for this system. We have a 2 gigabyte card. Now that was the main challenge, was the 1 gigabyte card. When I put it in, it did work and it did boot up, etc. But it would, for whatever reason, it was just really struggling with, it wouldn't run the benchmark. So because it wouldn't let the benchmark boot, I decided to swap it out for the 7700. We've got an SSD in here, which has got about 110 gigabytes of storage, which currently is mostly used up already, and we've got a hard drive in here, which will be our main backup storage drive. So mainly it's the games currently I've put onto the SSD, but we could probably put an extra SSD in here, and of course we've got a Blu-ray drive. So there we go. Let's see how this can handle. So we're just gonna run Nova Benchmark. I think that's probably the way to go, just to get ourselves started and see how this system can handle it. But remember, it's been built by Junk, so there are a few little bits in here. We have upgraded as I said, we'll put a cost in for the power supply. We ended up using the one that I already had, but just in case, because if you were to buy a second-hand power supply, which is never a recommended thing, but let's say you did, or you had one knocking around with a rough price for it, we've obviously updated the graphics card. You have to get a case, and we needed some storage. So give or take, let's say it's about 100 quid's worth of, get full screen on that. It's about 100 quid's worth of equipment in this, so it's not bad for a £100 PC so far. Is it worth 100 quid? That is the big question. Would you pay £100 for it? I mean, if you were trying to use this as like a starting PC to build something off of, and how much expandability, so there's definitely expandability. You could easily put a much better graphics card in here, a £300-400 graphics card, and get a lot more out of it. I believe the processor can go up. We need to see what the spec is for upgrades. It's really early in the morning. I've spent way too long on this project, on this actual computer test footage thing, whatever you want to call it, junk build. More time than I was planning. I thought this would be like a really quick video to shoot. Not the fact that I'd be doing this over multiple days, doing different tests, and yeah, not my favourite thing. But it has reminded me about what I used to love about building computers the years back. But when I say building computers, I mean building the one that I built. Always building my own computers, but I always remembered now that I always had problems. I'd always forget something. I'd forget to connect one power cable here or a power cable there, or I'd put something in the wrong port or something like that. And I think this has been another one of those exciting journeys. Okay, so the tests are almost done. We've run test 7, so memory transfer. I mean, the Kingston drives were what, about a tenner. You could pick up 500 gig hard drive for about 5, so you're like 15 quid there. graphics card was like 20, 25 quid, so let's say 40, power supply 30, case 15, so you're talking about 80 odd, £80 roughly for all the extra bits, plus then I had my £20 chunks equipment, so yeah, about 100 quid I'd say, without the peripherals. Okay, so let's see what it does on the graphic tests. Now, as it stands, I've not put antivirus on this system, which is a bit of a worry thing to do, to connect it to connect it up to the internet, but I'm letting the Windows 10's antivirus pre-built. Do it. Graphically, it's moving okay. That was somewhere in the region of like 20 odd. That was like 25, 30 frames per second, give or take. But the question is that's fine. When it's doing a benchmark, you kind of expect that. But what happens when it actually wants to game? When you actually want it to game? Okay, we've got memory tests. I have a lack of memory at the moment. Now I'm going to try and game looking to the side here. We've got a couple of Steam games ready. I haven't tried it with retro games because I know there'd be some issues with combat. Excuse me. There'll be some issues of compatibility with older games, so we'd need to fix those because of Windows 10 versus Windows XP that they're built to play on. But yeah, let's have a quick look at this memory test. Accessing latency. I mean, there are other things like you could run Cinebench and stuff on this, but I just find this one's a little bit quicker, a nicer interface, gives us kind of a quick score. Now, my main system runs a score of about 3,500, which is my editing software one, and my backup is around 2,700. I think is my score on. But that's because it's been they're designed with that in mind, with their SSDs. Everything's designed for speed, so I can get things done. But this is not one of those ones. But then they've cost me a lot more money, a lot more money. With graphics card being like £400-500 upwards when I bought them. I can't remember what I've got in there, Ryzen 8s? I don't even know, I can't even remember what CPUs I've got in there. But we're talking multi-core. It's way too early to be doing videos. I'm waiting for this first coffee to kick in. Right, let's have a look at the results. So either way, I mean, they're ranging anywhere between 388 and 3048. This one ran 348, and I think that's a little bit down to the fact that we've got OBS running at the moment. So, but CPU 81, GPU 56. So the best thing we've got is our actual memory is our best score. Everything else is pretty much garbage. But storage, which is a bit worrying actually. That's as low as that is. Need to have a look at that. There might be some reason there because the SSD should not be doing as low as that. GPU and CPU can both be upgraded. So let's have a quick look at what this is going to do if we were to play an actual game. We'll go into some old school games though. Go to Steam. Let's play some Unreal Tournament. Who doesn't like a bit of Unreal Tournament? Come on. Classic. We'll play Unreal Tournament 3 Black Edition. Let's do some deathmatch. I know it'd run things like Warhammer, so that's fine. I don't know if it would do Just Cause. Okay, can we see? I can just about see this. I really need to. I don't think those marks will come off my screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Right, so we're in up and running. Took a little bit of time to log in. We'll play as an offline mode. So there's definitely some serious lag. I think it's mainly going to be down to the CPU at this point. I also doesn't like the fact there's two games on the go. Or there's I'm going to have to turn this. I can't see anything right now. The fact that we're running OBS instead of running the cable out the back. I don't know why, for whatever reason, I run the cable out the back. I can't see this screen here and see my backup. So let's do this. Yakka the yak, don't talk back. This could take 2 monitors, I think. What we got here? Yeah, I mean, I could actually run this at a second, but okay, here we go. See how we get on. See how it runs. How's this not dying? Might be because I can't actually see. I've never played a game this way round. Double kill. Yeah, boy. I'm playing against bots because they're rubbish. Okay, so it definitely runs. Even if my playing is awful. And I can't actually see what I'm doing. Okay. 5 kills remaining. But I mean, I don't even want to attempt to try one of the more like AAA games like Far Cry, stuff like that, Far Cry 3, because that is just never going to load. It's took long enough to load on this one, so maybe we can have a look at some other upgrades on this. Maybe there's some additional work we could do. So here's the question. Based on you've seen the specs on this computer already, what else can we do? We've done the Windows updates, we've done driver updates. I still feel there's something going on there with the Kingston drive that we could get that to be running quicker. How do we get some more performance out of this PC? Or is it just a simple case that it's, as far as it's going to go, it's going to upgrade? So we could do some basic gaming on here. We could play some old games. Like if we could play like Half-Life, Half-Life 2, some of that sort of stuff, I think that's going to be okay. Far Cry, when you start getting to things like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, stuff like that, that's never going to happen. Crisis, maybe Crisis, original Crisis, probably wouldn't run Crisis 2 or above, but would be a good little operating system. This would probably be a good system for someone who wants to upgrade and put a brand new CPU in, or maybe we get a new CPU for like 20-30 quid that's a next gen up, or next range up, and get this to run a little bit smoother. Let me know what you think we should do next with this PC in the comments down below. But there we go, that's what I got for my, well, it's effectively now my £20 junk PC crap. It turned into a £100 PC. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching today, and I'll see you in another video sometime very soon. Take care.